Welcome back to part number 2 and the finale of What If Luke Skywalker Continued to be a Moisture Farmer. Thank you to those of you who watched the first part. To recap what happened in that video if you haven't seen it, Luke had chosen to restore the burnt Lars home, leaving Obi-Wan to head into Mos Eisley and take a ship to Yavin 4, managing to save Bail Organa. With the plans of the Death Star, Obi-Wan, Rex and R2-D2 go to rescue Leia and help destroy the station, where we now find Obi-Wan outside of the cell of Leia, feeling pain in the Force. Obi-Wan had felt what had happened to Luke on Tatooine, but he had to focus upon the mission to rescue Leia. The Jedi Master also sensed the darkness in the Force, and quickly dragged Leia into the corridor, where he took out the arriving stormtroopers. Continuing to cut a path through to the cargo ship with Rex, they are stopped by the intimidating figure of Vader. The Sith looked at Obi-Wan with hate, and to Rex with mocking sadness, deeming his services to be wasted in the failing Rebel Alliance. The former clone commander realised that this was his old general, but his duty was to the rebellion, and fired into the ceiling above them to provide separation. The rebels managed to run into the level of the tractor beam, and throw several detonators to disable the entire station of its power, then ran through the darkness and smoked to their ship, returning to the rebel fleet. Obi-Wan uses his vast military experience to direct the battle from the head of Admiral Akbar's cruiser, but without a capable pilot, the Jedi Master is forced to board an X-Wing starfighter and destroy the battle station himself, killing Grand Moff Tarkin and members of the Empire's High Command. There was little time for celebrations for the Jedi Master, as he immediately took Leia away from the Rebel Alliance and to the planet of Dagobah, where they would meet Grandmaster Yoda. The old Jedi had been pleased to see Leia, rather than the impatient and erratic Luke, and together they began training her in the Jedi arts. Back on Tatooine, Luke Skywalker awoke to unfamiliar surroundings as he found himself in an Imperial academy. Luke felt uncomfortable and needed to escape, and ensuring that the other cadets had not woken up, he moved past the sleeping guards to find a blaster on the floor. The moisture farmer was about to sneak into an Imperial fighter when his presence is detected by a set of searchlights, and he ran into the cockpit. Luke's natural instinct for flying enabled him to fire at the hangar doors, and he flew away from Mos Eisley to his home. The farmer aims to collect his possessions and fly away to another farm, but as he is about to enter his home, he is met by Darth Vader. The Sith had recovered from the destruction of the Death Star to meet the Emperor, and Palpatine had sensed the conflict in Vader, so ordered him to eliminate such a weakness. Vader had heard about the capture of a young Skywalker on Tatooine, and decided to investigate with the help of the local spies. The fallen Jedi feels a strong Force presence in his old home, and landed just outside of Obi-Wan's hut to see Luke running into his home. Vader stepped out and tried to ignore the memories of this wretched place, but he could not as he trudged into the Lars home. As he faced Luke, he told him that together they could defeat the Emperor, and in response, Luke valiantly fired at Vader, but to no effect. Vader lifted Luke into the air, and ensuring that he lost consciousness, took him back into his ship, then onto his fortress on Mustafar. With Vader preoccupied by Luke, the construction of the second Death Star had been slower than the Emperor had wanted, and the rebels and the Jedi had a chance to mobilise. The training on Dagobah had proceeded as Yoda had wished, and together they are ready to face the Emperor and Vader, totally unaware Luke was being trained in the dark side as they joined the Rebel Alliance. The Jedi get transport to the partially constructed but functioning space station, expecting to be met with Imperial troopers, but instead they are met by Luke and Vader. Obi-Wan hides his horror seeing Luke turn to the dark side, but Yoda pushes him to one side, then battled Vader alongside Leia. In the background, Palpatine calmly walked out, as he had planned the trap for the Jedi, but had been disgusted to see Vader betraying him by taking Luke as his apprentice. Yoda senses the presence of Palpatine, and is about to jump into the path of an attack, when he diverts it at Vader and Luke, sending them sprawling in pain. Leia steps forward and takes advantage of the distraction to throw her lightsaber through the Emperor, and the bright glow stopped. Vader had been electrocuted to his death, but Luke still had a pulse, and he is taken back to the Rebel fleet for his wounds to be healed. Luke is ashamed of his actions and rejected the offer from Leia to remain in the Rebel Alliance to return to Tatooine, fulfilling his passion for farming. That is it for What If Luke Skywalker continued to be a farmer. If you enjoyed this What If, please like this video, turn on that notification bell, click that subscribe button on this channel, as well as on my other channel What If Films. And as always, leave a comment on what if you'd all like to see next, and how I can improve my videos. Thank you all very much for watching, and see you next time.